Hey guys, I'm back. I'm back front facing because I want to do um, videos that feel like they're really speaking to my practice and not just the physical tools that I'm using. So I think it's important to like speak to you when I'm speaking about these topics. I literally like just woke up. Maybe not like 5 minutes ago. Like, I brushed my teeth and all that, but I'm in my pajamas. I just tied my hair back as best as I could. So if I look like I woke up, if I have sleep crumbs, like my son would like to say, I did wash my face, but they might still be there. You know how that goes. Anyway, things I really want to talk about. Let me like really get here. In meditation, first of all, like even when I think about meditation, I just want to like, put my hands to my heart. In meditation, I often come across the idea of what it is to be the observer of your thoughts, and the idea that that our mind is running a bunch of scripts, and how important it is essentially to be able to understand the script that you are witnessing. So, something I really focus my meditations on is becoming the witness, becoming the observer of the things that I'm thinking. I don't think about silencing my thoughts. I don't think about like when my mind is racing, like I'm doing meditation poorly or badly. I really focus in on my breathing. And often I really like this combination of box breathing that is like inhale for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, hold for 4. I tend to do that to kind of enter into meditation and to regulate my nervous system. And then if I kind of fall out of that breathing pattern after some time has passed and kind of fall into a natural flow of a breathing pattern, but my mind starts to race, I literally will say, okay, thank you for visiting. I see you. Okay, thank you for visiting. Like mentally, like as the thoughts come up. And then what that does is it makes me realize there are witnesses to the experience of me, and I am also the witness to the experience of me. And when I compartmentalize these experiences and then overly identify with any one of these experiences, I end up almost it's almost as if it were a big play, and I end up casting myself in one of the roles, and I end up really identifying, like I'm doing method acting and I'm identifying too much with that particular role. But I am not just that character. I actually happen to be, it's like Mary Kate and Olsen in what's that one where they go camping with their dad and they have the stepmom and the I forget the name of it. If you're a 90s kid, you probably know it, where they like swap, they want to meet the other parent. Anyway, it's almost like that. Like you almost like you don't realize like, oh, you're this character, but you're also this character, but you're also this character. You are swapping identities to play out these different parts, but these are all you. When I started to experience this knowledge in my meditation, I feel, and when I can bring mindfulness to that, because it's not constant, right? Like we don't constantly operate from this space of mindfulness, right? When I can actually kind of get into that space of awareness, it really kind of opens my eyes and allows me to move in my actual like physical life, not just meditative spiritual life, in a really interesting way, because it brings awareness to the things I'm reenacting, which is so powerful, so powerful. It brings awareness to the spaces where I need radical accountability, and that can be uncomfortable, but to witness yourself in the places where you're projecting, you're reenacting, you require accountability, where you require a boundary, accountability even in the sense of maybe you haven't done something that you necessarily disapprove of or that is foul or anything like that, but accountability in the idea of like, I am responsible for my life and I am responsible for my well-being. Granted, as long as you're not a child, right? But you're probably not if you're watching this. And if you are responsible for that, then you must be accountable for it as well. You can, I feel like having that idea of accountability over your own life really repositions you into a space of power, and you're no longer just the actor, you're also the person writing the script, and then you're the person in the audience watching the play. You see, so meditation, I think, allows you to be in the position of the person in the audience that is watching the play. It gives you the perspective. It broadens your perspective as well, because it allows you to really see all of the different roles that you play in your own life and all of the different scripts that you read from in your own life. And it allows you to rewrite the things that you perhaps do not really want to experience any more of. And I feel like that is incredibly, incredibly powerful. So that's something I have been really thinking about, and I've been bringing it to my workspace as well. Like when I'm at work and I'm thinking about the client, there is a separateness that's inherent in the idea of I am me, the healer, and they are the client, the person on the bed. As opposed, so like what I have been doing in that space, instead of like separating my identity, myself from them, I have almost kind of, because I'm an esthetician and it's quite like quiet and peaceful and calm, I have been, when we do our opening massages, allowing myself to get into a semi-meditative space that separate, and I consciously will think about this maybe, and sometimes, a lot of times, I pray before I even see the client, that I am removed from the ego of the self, that I am removed from the idea of needing to perform well or do the best or be the best esthetician, and that I'm just fully available to give them what they need and make it less about me and my performance and how good I am as an esthetician, and just be in the space of providing what they need in that moment and the purpose and like the reason why they came to me. And in a lot of ways that requires me to separate my ego and myself from the experience, because the conscious, the self that I'm aware of, the materialized self that I am aware of, really cares about performing well. I do. That may not be your problem, but I care about being really good at the things I do. I'm a perfectionist. I care about performing at the top at all times. And we can talk about where that comes from, such as like need for approval, validation, et cetera, et cetera. We, like these things all are rooted in something bigger, right? But when I really bring awareness to the experience of being, I even always do healer in quotes, which I maybe should stop doing, because I do healing work for work. And I feel like I try to like undermine it by not like really massaging my ego by saying healer, because we think that we associate this with positive things, right? But it's what I do. It's what I'm here. It's what I'm put on earth to do. And I know that with all my heart, whatever the capacity of my healing work, whatever that might be, it's what I'm here to do. And I'm here to fulfill that mission wholeheartedly. And with the full intention of, not of being a great healer, but of giving others what it is they need in that time, of being of service to others. And when I'm able to bring awareness to the experience of releasing the need to be so great, I almost drop the script. I'm able to completely drop one of the scripts that are running in my mind, and I'm able to kind of move into the space of not even conscious awareness at that point. I think the thing that comes to mind, sorry, my throat is like so scratchy today. The thing that comes to mind when I guess I am in that space is moving energy, That's it. That's what comes to mind. Moving, because I'm massaging. I'm working with the lymph system. I'm working with acne. I'm working with eczema. I'm working with pain. I'm working with headache. I'm working with facial pain. I'm working with discomfort. I'm working with low self-esteem. I'm working with gut health issues. Like, I'm working with so many things that have holistic context, right? Like, the skin is not just the skin, it's the largest organ. It's a communicator for things that are going on internally. I'm really here to translate that. But when I'm able to get out of performing great, I can feel more so what's happening, because now I'm sitting in the seat watching the play, but I'm also performing in the play. But it's almost like when you get into that trance state and you're not aware of the move that you're doing anymore, you're just doing what needs to be done for the performance to happen, and it becomes the best performance of your life because you are not thinking about performing. You're just flowing with the energy of the time and the space. And so now you're moving into improv, method acting. You are fully embodied in the energy of the space, but you gave yourself the moment of awareness to remove yourself from the script that you wrote, that you needed to say these words. That was just the foundation to get you through the moments in which you didn't know what to do because you were not in the natural element or feeling of the space. And when you are able to remove yourself or build on the foundation, right? When you're able to say, that served me, it served me well, it got me to the next step. And actually, if I ever need this script again, I know it by heart. I know it by heart. I don't even need to think about this script to know that I'm doing the script, right? I feel like that is powerful. And it's also something I try to bring to my experiences. There would never be a day where I'm bringing them to all of my experiences, but I've been doing it a lot more often, and I have phases where I'm better at this and worse, you know what I mean? Sometimes it flows, sometimes I have more access to this, and sometimes I don't. But anyway, these are the things I'm focusing on my spiritual practice. I'm trying to bring the theory of spiritual practice into an actual praxis, right? Like into an actual lived out behavioral practice. And in a lot of ways, it's been groundbreaking for me because it's allowed me to, one of the most important things is like bring awareness to when I'm reenacting. Yeah, it's brought me awareness to the scripts that I have written, and maybe perhaps even the reasons why I've written those scripts, which is really important, because if you don't know the why behind something, you don't always need to know the why, but knowing the why really just gives you a lot to work with. It gives you a lot of meat to cut out, you know? So learning the why has been pretty important, but also learning that I'm reenacting, because reenactments can be pretty subconscious. They can really be, you may not even know that you're doing it. And you may not be reenacting things that you have personally experienced, but things that you've witnessed. I noticed that I have witnessed things that I have reenacted things that I've witnessed in childhood, and that I am just reenacting it like a script, like a play, like almost exactly. And it's so funny because there are things that that I'm uncomfortable with, that I actually don't like, that I don't want to experience, and that I don't want the result of what that reenactment brings in the future. And so being able to witness that reenactment and make really hard decisions based on saying, I have witnessed this, I know what this is, I know what I'm doing what I was shown, but I don't want to do what I was shown. I want to make my own way. I don't want to do it the way that you showed me. I want to do it my own way. It allows you to change the game in the middle of the game. It allows you to improvise on stage, you know what I mean? So highly recommend meditation. And not in the way of like, it doesn't need to be like, oh, my thoughts are floating out and I don't have a thought and I'm so in tune with just my breath. It can be that, if you can do that, more power to you. I think for me, it's really more about bringing awareness to the different personalities and the different scripts and the different identities that I take on throughout the day, that we all take on throughout the day, whether we are aware of it or not. It's bringing that awareness so that you can see, you can have broader perspective and be able to see and witness yourself. It allows you to be in the position of the witness. There's nothing more powerful, because also a lot of times when we are experiencing emotions and things like that, when you're upset, for example, and you vent, you're not looking for a solution necessarily. You're looking for a witness. You're wanting to be witnessed, and in a big way, we all deserve that. And I'm wondering if that stems from us having the necessity to witness ourselves in the play. Yeah. So that's what I want to say. That's what I want to talk about, or wanted to say about my spiritual practice. I started back up at the gym. There's a big theme coming up for me about the physical body and the spiritual body. And that feels really important because I am fortunate enough to have good health generally. And that is a true blessing that I never want to take advantage of or take for granted. But sometimes I do take it for granted, and I don't treat myself well. I eat like shit. I eat like just junk food and candy, and I have the privilege to have access to healthy food, and I will choose otherwise. So I think what I need, or not what I need, but I probably need it, but what I'm mindful of right now is really taking care of the vehicle that drives me through this life. I want to really take care of my vehicle, and I really want to develop a really good and balanced relationship and dynamic with the physical body, and strip away all of the insecurities of childhood and teenagehood, and really build health and strength in a way that feels meaningful and that feels grounded and that feels like I'm honoring my physical body and not just caring about how it looks, if that makes sense. So there's that. That's something I'm really focused in on. I signed up with my personal trainer again, and I really need to work on my relationship with food, because a lot of times I will like eat my feelings. I will binge eat my feelings if I like I have a really bad relationship with sugar and junk food. I have a good relationship with vegetables. I eat a lot of them. But I have a really bad, like, junk food is my comfort food if I'm upset, if I'm tired. I'm sure there's a lot of hormonal, metabolic reasons why I'm looking for sweets and whatnot. But then it does go back to the spiritual body, right? And like, what does rest really mean? And why am I not able to allow myself moments of rest, and where does that come from, and why do I feel like I need to be a human doing and not a human being? Like, when do I get to just be? Do I feel safe? Do I feel secure? It brings up so much in the spiritual body that if you dig deep, maybe not even that deep, for me at least, but if you just dig a little bit to think about what your relationship to your physical body might be saying about your relationship to your spiritual body, it really can be a avenue for, it can be a pathway for healing. This may not be true across the board. I can only speak from my body, who I happen to be healthy, and that is a privilege in and of itself. And I happen to be in a position to get healthy food. That is a privilege in and of itself. When I bought my first like really good high quality water filter, which was I think earlier this year, 2025, that's the first time I was able to think about water in a way of like the meaning of health, and how I didn't have access to even like I was drinking faucet water, and my faucet water comes out like brown half of the time. Like, it's so gross. You can taste the metal and the rust in it, and that's all I had access to for a while. And when I bought my first filtered water, to understand the privilege of that, just because I had been not with that, you know what I mean? Like that. Now I'm in this space that I can drink filtered water. which feels crazy, but it's true. And I think what people don't realize is like there are so many people who are dealing with things like that. So when we speak about health and wellness, and I'm in this industry, so I'm in a health and wellness industry, we don't always think about what a privilege it is to even, if, oh, take your 10,000 steps a day. Like, that's a privilege. You have safety in your neighborhood to do that. You have healthy legs, healthy heart to do that. Like, those are all privileged positions. So I've been really thinking about the privilege of having health and and like wanting to like really build upon my relationship to my physical body in a way that has a deep understanding of the inherent link between the spiritual and physical. Yeah, so other things going on for me. I've been talking a lot. I don't even know if I'm making sense because I have just decided to talk about what like almost like stream of conscious, just speak about the things going on in my mind, in my heart, in my spirit, and in my practice to bring more to the community in terms of how we interact and engage with one another. But we can also talk about the tools, which are really exciting. And I make tools, so I'm not tool shy, right? Like, I make my own candles. I make tarot. Well, I'm making a tarot deck. I make oracle decks, and I'm not tool shy whatsoever. There's no shame in having tools. I love my tools. So we're going to talk a little bit about the tools I've been using. I am reading Read Like the Devil by Camelia Elias. I feel like I've been trying to read this book for a couple years now, and I just wasn't able to do it. But now I'm reading it, and I am finding it really, really, really cool. I'm really loving what it's teaching me about Marseille, Tarot de Marseille. I am really excited about the reading style that it's teaching me. One of the things is, like, one of the biggest takeaways, I'm not very far, you can see. One of the biggest takeaways so far is about like thinking about the function of the card and thinking about, I wonder if it's this book. I have a book that I'm writing putting my readings on. Oh, it's not this one. Oh, I've got to find the book. Because I went down this, like, I took some time to practice the first assignment, and I am so shocked at how much it makes sense, but also like how it takes the reading. I don't know how you guys read, obviously. I only know how I read, and I can read really like in this very fluffy way, this very like intuitive way. Yes, I know the meanings of the cards, I know the symbolism, not perfectly, of course, but I think pretty well, if I'm being really honest with you. I feel like I have a natural like flow with the tarot, and I'm constantly learning more, but this makes it very precise. This makes it so much less. I don't think that makes sense. It makes it, I don't know, it just makes it precise. It kind of extracts everything that is no longer needed to read really with like great precision. And that's it. It takes away the things that you don't need. It takes away the fluff, and it calls you out on your bullshit and how you might be reading in a way that actually doesn't answer the question directly. It helps you to learn how to really directly answer the questions. I would say this book is like a knife. It is like a knife to your reading style. So far, it might add things later. So what I was doing, one of the things I was doing was I was setting down, as a practice, I was setting down 3 cards. I was writing on a piece of paper. I have a book that I was doing this in, which I'm upset that I pulled out the wrong book. And writing down on a piece of paper the function of each card, and then stringing together a sentence using, I just want to get the words right, but we had a noun. We had maybe a verb, like what the noun was, we had a noun, a verb, and we had like the character, like the main person. And that, I want to say that that's what we had. And that really extracted all of the fluffiness. It truly did. Okay, function. So we had the function, right? I wrote down my functions and then I synthesized it. It was called a synthesis. And then it would say like, okay, lay down 3 cards, create a function, then create a synthesis. And then, so for example, the Emperor, the Charioteer, and the Hermit, the functions are to lead, to drive, to retreat. And then the synthesis, a sitting that's both fast and slow. Now step 2 would be string this together by placing function in relationship to subject, verb, and place. Okay, so that's what we were doing. So that you arrive at one essential narrative, not 3, that follows a trajectory, temporal, causal, and spatial. The string, the Emperor, the Charioteer, and the Hermit. The man of action backs off. Yeah, it makes sense. Oh my God, it makes so much sense. And it's not to say I would never arrive at this, if I wasn't reading this, but it was like I just kept practicing that over and over and over. And I wanted to show you some because it is Tarot de Marseille. And then I was actually pulling some oracle cards to see if I can expand or support the reading in a way that feels like my style, and it was so good. So I think I might turn the camera now so that we can maybe see some pairs. And yeah, well, or maybe not, I don't know, because this video is probably already like 40 minutes long, but I was using this, which is the Spanish Tarot, and I was using the Field of Stars Oracle, which I love, by Allison Davies, but I want to actually move out of that, and because just the season change, and I want to use the Fairy Tale Oracle by Broccoli Mac. I haven't used this one yet, but I feel like these would go really beautifully together. For example, yeah, see, like that's really nice. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna be moving on to this pairing for this kind of reading style. I like it. I really like it, actually. So I'm gonna be trying this next. So I will be doing the function, the synthesis, and the function and the synthesis. And I wonder if you guys want to do some of these together. I'm not going to do it in this video because this video is really just about like, as of this day, like as of now, what is my practice looking like lately. And it really is a very like meditative practice and like trying to bring mindfulness to my like everyday lived experience, and trying to take the things from spiritual practice and move them on into the playing field, put them in the play, and get comfortable with improv and understand the script that you're running, and be okay with witnessing and giving yourself some time to be the witness of your experiences. That is literally what I'm going through right now, or what I'm able to do right now. I'm not always able to do that. I'm mostly not able to do that, let's be honest. But when you can, and you should. If you can, you should, So now, I haven't used this one for this yet, actually, but I'm wondering, I think it would go well for the Devil Tarot practice. Again, if you want to go through and do like the 3 card, like, it was like a person, a verb, and I don't remember, but I haven't written down. We can do it. I did it with my little sister, and we did it for we were on the phone for like an hour or 2 doing this. It was so fun. It was actually a really fun exercise, and it was like very sharpening, it was sharpening the skills. It was really cool. Okay, so then another one, the flam something. Anyway, Vlamis Tarot, but actually there's another name for this that I know it by, Vandenborg. I just forget it right now, and I wish I didn't, but I think this is another Tarot de Marseille. I love this like old cardboardy cardstock. What about this? Like, this could be really cool together. Oh, sorry. This could be really cool together. This is the Enigma. It's an oracle, but it's also, I'm trying to see the box. I'll show you the box. It's an oracle, but it's like a card game as well. It's the Enigma, Hidden Knowledge Enigma by Daniel Martin Diaz. Oh. Oopsie, I dropped some cards. Ugh, hate when that happens. I think this could be super cool together, especially for this, again, like Marseille exercise, like learning exercise that I'm doing. I also find this book to be really cool because sometimes you want to pull cards, but you want to be in the practice of something. Like maybe you want to study, maybe you know, you don't really have a question. You're tired of you did your card of the day. Like, what else are you going to do? I feel like having like a book, having something that you're learning more of, or, you know, I think that sometimes is like pretty fun. It's a really fun way to engage with your cards that you have. But sometimes you don't have questions, or you don't want to necessarily like read for anything deep or specific. You just want to like have a little play with your cards, which I think is why a lot of us do these videos of like, oh, sorry, of what am I using today? What am I doing today? What am I not just what am I using today, but also what came in, how am I, because we want to talk about the things, we want to talk about our tools, we want to talk about our practice, and maybe we want to use our tools more, and we don't, like, how many questions can you ask about yourself and your life? You know what I mean? Not all of us read for other people. So I find these books, like Read Like the Devil, that kind of expand on your reading practice, to be super cool, super helpful. And I'd be open to more if you have any other books that have like cool exercises that could be fun. But yeah, that's it. That's what I've got going on right now. Yeah. And if you hung out and you know, spent the time here with me today, thank you as always. You guys are the best. Okay, ciao.